Wednesday, July 2nd edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Pretty much the entire video going to focus on Arthur, and I'll spend a lot of time on that in just a moment. Let's start off with a look around 5:30 this morning from the Avalon Pier web camera, the Atlantic Ocean. Very docile early this morning. It's warm and muggy all around the region. The Avalon Pier and surrounding regions in the mid and upper 70s. Winds are not a really big issue at the moment. It was a hot and humid day yesterday all across the region. Many highs in the low to mid 90s. Right now it is well into the 70s, pretty much region wide. And it's certainly very, very warm and muggy. Look at these dew point temperatures, 70 or better in many spots. This is a tropical air mass that we have in place. And I need to mention that the heat index value is going to exceed 100 in a good number of locations across the region this afternoon. Now there's Arthur, tropical storm off the coast of Florida. It's now begun a pretty decent northerly motion. And I'll show you all the information on Arthur in just a second. The radar quiet here now, but there's a look at Arthur, basically due east of Cape Canaveral and moving to the north, and that northward movement has indeed begun. So let's spend a lot of time here talking about Arthur. And over the past 24 hours, the system has continued to organize. Now, the overall satellite appearance still a little ragged. There's been some dry air getting entrained in the western side of the center, which is right about there. And so in the immediate short term, probably not a ton of strengthening. But the overall environment here in this region is going to be pretty favorable for strengthening. The water is very warm, and the upper level pattern should favor strengthening. And this has a very, very good chance of becoming a hurricane fairly soon. Okay, here we go. This is the 5 a.m. advisory. The position of Arthur, 28.4 north, 79.1 west, about 90 miles east of Cape Canaveral, Florida, moving to the north at 6 miles per hour. Wind right now sustained at 60 miles per hour. The pressure is down to 996 millibars. The spaghetti charts still pretty good agreement of a track near or just offshore of the North Carolina coast, especially right around the Outer Banks. So here is the official National Hurricane Center forecast, 70 mile per hour, very strong tropical storm overnight tonight east of the Georgia coast, and then arcing northeast from there, probably approaching the Outer Banks as a Category 1 hurricane tomorrow night, Thursday night, into early Friday morning. Now here's a neat perspective from the RPM model showing you potential wind speeds here. Now this is just one run of one computer model, but this just gives you an idea. The most intense winds, and these would probably be tropical storm force winds, would be along the South Carolina coast up to around Wilmington as you get toward tomorrow afternoon, and then on into tomorrow evening. And then from there, the system will either move over the Outer Banks or very close to it. That would be tomorrow night and a very early Friday morning. And so it is during that Thursday night and Friday morning time period where all of the Outer Banks are going to be looking at hurricane, at least gusts, if not sustained winds. And of course, if you are familiar with the Outer Banks at all, you know Highway 12, which runs down there through the Outer Banks, floods very, very easily. And so I'm quite certain there's going to be some flooding issues. And even on the off the Sound there, not just along the Outer Banks, there could be some pretty significant flooding issues due to the trajectory that the system is taking. Now here's the watch situation this morning. Hurricane watch in effect for a good chunk of the North Carolina coast. Tropical storm watch surrounds that. These will likely be upgraded to warnings within the next 24 hours or so. Now, as far as the overall tangible weather impacts are concerned, we'll see some scattered thunderstorms today across the Piedmont, and the storms that do form could be pretty strong. And then it still looks like a relatively unsettled day tomorrow with some showers and storms, and there goes Arthur lifting up near or just off the Outer Banks. Now behind that system, by Friday afternoon, a much drier air mass is getting pulled in, and that is going to set the stage for just some fantastic weekend weather. Friday afternoon, and then especially Saturday into Sunday look great. A lot of highs in the 80s, low humidity. We might even see some lows in a couple spots dipping down into the 50s by Saturday morning. Really nice stuff. All right, that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. We will keep you completely up to date on Arthur, on Time Warner Cable News, and all of your tropical updates at 21 and 51 past the hour. Of course, I'll continue to keep you updated via social media, especially Twitter, as we continue forward in time. All right, that's it for today. Have a great day, and God bless.